Okay, Broncos country, looks like we are live, but you guys know the drill by now. We've got to let the stream breathe for just a second here and make sure that everything is nice and stable all across the YouTube platform. Welcome in, Broncos country, to this Denver Broncos Syndicate live stream. I am your host, Gage Madrid. We've got some breaking Denver Broncos news over the bye week, but before we get into it, we're going to let some people start streaming on in here. Be sure to leave a like on this stream as well as subscribe and ring the bell. I would really appreciate it. They are both free and easy ways to show your support. Helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. Additionally, if you want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. The link is in the description below if you want some extra perks and incentives in exchange for helping me out, helping the channel grow, and helping improve the production quality of this content. We've got Kevin Bronco Vines in the house. Good to see you. Let's go ahead and get into the news. I am a little bit late on this one, but nonetheless, boom shakalaka. The Broncos and kicker Will Lutz have agreed to terms on a 3-year contract extension through 2028 per Ian Rappaport. Coming off AFC Special Teams Player of the Week honors after going 5 for 5 with the game winner against the Chiefs, Lutz leads the NFL with 4 game-winning kicks this year for the 9-2 Broncos. So, we made a video the other day on how the Denver Broncos got extremely lucky getting Will Lutz. Sean Payton made a statement moving on from longtime kicker Brandon McManus. It was a bit of a rocky start in the post-Brandon McManus era. They had Elliott Fry and Brett Maher in for some competition. It didn't really work out too well. Right around that same time, Will Lutz had lost his job in New Orleans to rookie Blake Grupe. He struggled the year before that, and then the year before that, in 2021, Sean Payton's final year in New Orleans, Lutz suffered a season-ending injury. Ever since the Broncos brought Lutz in, he's been a reliable kicker for them. It started off a little rocky. He missed some kicks in his debut. That Raiders game, missed a field goal and an extra point, and a one-point loss for the Denver Broncos in that game. He missed that 42-yarder in Indianapolis this year, but outside of that, Will Lutz has been money. Sean Payton is comfortable and confident in Will Lutz as his kicker. So, obviously, Sean Payton was very, very involved in getting this done. How old is Will Lutz? Will Lutz is 31 years old, so that's still very, very young for a kicker. He'll turn 32 next July, so there's still plenty of good years left in Will Lutz's career. We got Justin in the house. Good to see you, Justin. We got Celestino. We got David saying, excited for the Will Big Nuts Lutz. Excited for Will Big Nuts Nuts. Big Nuts Lutz. Try saying that 10 times fast for his contract extension. Snarf Bucket says, oh, that's awesome. Kevin says, Big Nuts Lutz. Braylon says, congrats, Will Lutz. Todd says, he's been good since McManus went away. Absolutely. Jaden asks, what's the contract? As of right now, the financial terms have yet to be disclosed, but I do believe that Will Lutz is going to be up there as one of the highest paid kickers in the NFL. Prior to that, he was the 9th highest paid kickers, so the Broncos are richly rewarding him. Again, I don't know what the financial terms are. That should come out soon. I'll go ahead and check real quick here just to see if those terms have come out. Will Lutz, he tweeted out, grateful, a lot of work ahead of us, excited for the future in Denver. Let's go ahead and see if this article from Kliss here has finances. It does not appear that it does. So, Will Lutz, we'll find out the financial terms here very soon. Regardless, though, he is one of the higher paid kickers in the NFL. I can definitely guarantee you that. Snarf Bucket says, oh, nice, man. I thought he was older. Nice to know we have an elite kicker for years to come. Absolutely. I mean, kickers, they can play well into their 40s. So, honestly, we could have Will Lutz here as long as Sean Payton's here. We got Boy Thunderbolt saying, Lutz is Mr. Consistent. Happy about this extension. Snarf Bucket goes, kicker is one of the positions that makes your life hell if you don't have a good one. And at least in my lifetime of being a Broncos fan, the Broncos have never not had a good kicker. They had Jason Elam, then Matt Prater, then Brandon McManus. There was a period of time where Brandon McManus was one of the more reliable kickers in the NFL. Fell off in his last few years here in Denver, but still, he was uber reliable, obviously won a Super Bowl here in Denver, and now we've got Will Lutz. So I've never not had a reliable kicker here in Denver. I don't know what that's like. I couldn't imagine being a team like the Chargers, who's gone through probably 20 kickers in as long as I've been alive. I mean, that's just crazy, man. It really is. Todd says, I hope they're both here for a long time. I know Sean Payton is committed to being here long term, and ownership is committed to Sean Payton. I think as long as Sean Payton's here, Will Lutz is going to be here. Holy Diver asked, what did I miss? It's right here on the screen. The Broncos extended Will Lutz. 3-year deal. We don't know the financial terms yet, but he's probably going to be one of the higher paid kickers in the NFL. Glad we had Prater during his peak years, for sure. And he's still playing at a high level, making some big kicks for the Buffalo Bills. So Money Matt, he's still doing it. Tell the makers of Madden 26 to fix Lutz's kicker power and accuracy. I got to be honest, man, Madden ratings in general suck. I use that franchise guy's custom Madden roster whenever I play. That's the only one that closely resembles accurate ratings. The actual Madden ratings, they are absolutely garbage. Holy Diver says, good news. It is good news. It really is, because like I said, and like, who was it that said it up here? Snarf Bucket said, it really is hell when you don't have a reliable kicker. How do you pronounce that? Is it Sither? You think Broncos are going to go after Brandon Cooks? I don't think so. He hasn't officially been released by the New Orleans Saints. They're still trying to work through the terms of that release. But regardless, I don't think it's going to happen. Sean Payton actually traded Brandon Cooks away in 2017. He traded him to the Patriots right before paying him. So I don't know if there's still a relationship there between Sean Payton and Brandon Cooks. I think that Cooks is going to have some other suitors elsewhere, or he might just retire, quite frankly. He is getting up there in age. I don't play Pokemon. I don't dabble in any Pokemon, so I wouldn't know how to pronounce that. I'm just going to go with Sither. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was at the Patriots I was at Prater's 63-yard field goal. It was 5 degrees that day, and it must have felt like kicking a rock. Yeah, that was a crazy, crazy experience, man. I wasn't there, but I got to experience it on TV, and just seeing that ball go through the uprights, man, knowing that it broke history, it's just nuts. Danny says, we have the best kicker ever. I don't know if Will Lutz is the best kicker ever, but I do know that he's one of the more reliable kickers right now, especially inside 50 yards. He's not really a distance kicker, and I think being at mile-high altitude, you'd want a distance kicker, but I'm somebody who would rather have a kicker who's reliable inside 50 yards, somebody who's money in the bank, and maybe you're sacrificing a little bit in terms of those longer kicks, but still. Yep, 64 broke history. That was Justin Tucker, right? That did 64. Yeah, that was 64 for Justin Tucker, right? And then then it was Cam Little that just did the record since then. Oh, that's right. Tucker was 66. Who was 64? Was that Prater at 64? I can't remember. I know that Tucker was 66, and then Cam Little, he just broke it, obviously. And that one's going to be really, really hard to break, in my opinion. But with these new kicker rules, man, we might see a new record even after that. Danny says, I can't get enough of your updates. Thank you so much, Danny. I really appreciate that. Justin Tucker's kick was BS because it never should have happened. Yeah, I know. There was that delay game that wasn't called by the referees. It gave the Ravens a couple extra seconds. Yeah, I totally agree. That one was a little bit BS, but it still counts in the record book the same way. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wind this thing down. Thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, we had some breaking news. I was going to do a live stream earlier of a different topic. I'm glad I waited because this news came up here. We've got Boy Thunderbolt saying, when Lutz kicked that 60-yarder against Indy that got called back, they said it cleared the post by something like 7 yards. He can kick with distance. It's just he's not the most consistent distance kicker, if you will. That kick also screwed over the Lions and got people fired, I think. I don't remember if it got anybody fired, but that was early in the Dan Campbell era. Pronounced Scyther. Okay. Have you decided on Chiefs or Colts winning? I think if the Chiefs win, it'll be better for us in the long run where we can bench the starters in week 18 and get the first round bye. I think it's possible for them to do that anyway. So, quite frankly, either way, I'm going to be happy. But I am, at this point in time, rooting for the Indianapolis Colts to win just because I want Kansas City to get buried. It's the whole division rival thing. So I did make my decision in that regard. But either way, I'm not going to be too upset because really either way you look at it, it's going to benefit the Broncos. And if the Broncos take care of their business and they win their next 4 games, they're going to be in really good position to have the number 1 seed either way. So quite frankly, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Both scenarios are going to benefit the Broncos. KB says, I actually want to play the Chiefs in the playoffs. Then we can beat them and have a true changing of the guard. For sure. For sure. That would be awesome. Kevin says, FKC. Thanks for providing great content, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to leave a like as well as subscribe, guys. I would really appreciate it. Free and easy ways to show your support. Michael in the house. Good to see you, Michael. Unfortunately, you hopped in at the end of the stream, but glad I could catch you here and say hey. All right, guys. And until next time, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.